Hi there crafters, it's Louise with you today on behalf of Kitaholic Kits, and I'm sharing a new 12x12 scrapbook layout created with the August 2020 kits. And I had a sort of an idea in mind for this layout, but in true crafting fashion it turned out absolutely nothing like the original plan. So what I wanted to start with was some strips of the pattern papers, and I had an idea to make this sort of central cube on a white cardstock background. Now, I know that I wanted to put colour over the cube, but it didn't actually develop in the same way as what idea I had in my head. So I'm going to start just by cutting some 1/2 inch strips of the patterned papers that came with the August kit. You can see I don't want them too patterned. I am sort of coordinating them. Some of them are really easy to use, some of them are a bit trickier, but you get the idea of sort of how this is going to work out. Now, I wanted to cut them in half, so I've measured that stack to the 6 inches, and I'm just going to cut them with my scissors. So there's nothing that's too technically difficult here, but then I'm going to lay them out and actually attach them to the page. And again, I would normally just eyeball things, but I decided that for this layout I was going to get my ruler out and actually measure to make sure that I did get my sort of central square actually central. So 3 inches either side will give me that sort of central square, and you can see off camera I've gone ahead and actually stuck those down. Now this is the part where it sort of started to go in its own way. I wanted to add colour to those stripes, so what I did was I pulled out my brayer and I just really messily added some white gesso over the top. So that was for two purposes. So one, to give my next layer of colour something to stick to, but also two, to mute down those patterned papers. They are quite bright and I didn't want them to be overpowering the colour that I was going to add over the top. So now I'm going to pull out this month's watercolour palette, and this is probably one of my favourite elements of the kit, and I'm going to actually use the packaging or the kissing technique. So I'm just using lots of water with the watercolour and putting it onto some empty packaging, and then smushing or kissing or smearing, whatever you want to refer to it as, that around onto the actual background that I've created. Now, as you can see, you start to get this sort of watercolour smushing going on in the background, and then I just used my paintbrush with lots of extra water to fill in those areas of colour to change the depth and to give it either more, or if you add more colour you get deeper, if you add more water you get that sort of more muted watercolour sort of thing going on. I've let that dry naturally overnight, as you can see, and at this stage I'm looking at it and I'm going, ooh, I do not like this layout at all. But as I start to build on it and add some more of the elements in the kit, including the really cute little ribbons, the doily, there's, you know, a couple of titles and some little elements, it does develop into a layout that I do enjoy a whole lot more. So basically, I'm going to stick all of this down off camera, add my journaling, a couple of the little enamel dots, and then this layout is complete. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you are inspired by that layout. Please check out Kitaholic Kits, and if you haven't already, hit that little subscribe button.